Afternoon, folks. You have made it to another Friday. Congratulations to you. Give yourself a pat on the back. Even if you're working this weekend, it's still kind of Friday for everybody. So make sure that you give yourself a huge pat on the back that you made it to this far. Well done. And yeah, there's some more positive hobby nightmares today. Well, one or two, maybe. Let's get into it though, shall we? If you like what I do, Patreon's down below. And also become a member of the channel, all that fun stuff. And make sure you're on the Discord as well, because we can always have a talk to you on Discord and have a really nice time. So first, it's Kronak. And he says, "Dear Mr. Exile, you can call me Kronak." As in Kronak. He spells it phonetically there for me. Or Bert, as I was referred to in a previous Hobby Nightmare. I am a goofy red shirt. Oh, I was a goofy red shirt in 2005 to 2019. And had a blast working for GW. Excellent. Probably the best job I've had until dropping bombs in the Middle East. Semper Fi. Right, so you were a Marine, right? Marine Corps is Semper Fi, I think. Anyway, he says, I have stories for years, but we'll begin with a tale of why I can't do tournaments anymore. Spoiler, this isn't strictly Warhammer related, but Infinity related. Okay. So Infinity is another war game, for you guys who don't know. It's out there. You can go and use it and buy it and have fun. Oh, he explained it himself. For those who don't know, the game Infinity is a cyberpunk squad-based game with an unforgiving D20 combat system that allows players to make actions in their off turns. Basically, man, this sounds like a living nightmare to me because I hate games that do that. Anyhow, imagine for the listener, this was our first Infinity tournament at our local game store. I played an army of Frenchmen, so I'm already self-conscious, but as fortune would have it, I managed to place first in the tournament. My Loop Gurus and Boobs McSki Slope, the friendly chasseurs. Okay, fine. Saved the day. He even gives me an actual store link to it, which is adorable. Like I'm going to actually go and buy these big booby Viking people. Anyway, now then. The tournament was over, and I was declared the winner. But before receiving my prize, the tournament runner altered the outcome, saying I had now placed second because their friend had miscalculated their points from the first game. A game that had taken place several hours ago, and their opponent had already left, so no one was there to verify this. Yet now, they should be honoured as the winner. I was pretty livid. To my understanding, the tournament was over because the friend from the tournament runner didn't like the way they had gotten second. The tournament altered the points after to make them the de facto winner. In response, I decided to alter the points from previous games to make me the winner again, and after some back and forth, the tally was, we were to share the first and second prize. Tournaments have never been the same since. We play a tournament when the runners can alter the points to benefit the friends, so I really can't be bothered. Wow, that sucks, man. And I will say this, right? That is not the overlying story from most tournaments that I come across. Most tournaments that I come across, the behaviour of the players in the tournament is the problem. And the actual runners themselves tend to be pretty decent people. Not across the board, of course, but they do tend to be pretty decent people, especially when running the rules. If you go to a tournament of Warhammer 40,000 or any Games Workshop game or even Infinity or whatever, you are going to a tournament with rules lawyers. Literally, that's why they are at tournaments. They love the rules, they love min-maxing the rules. And so, whilst you may not have that much fun if you're a more casual player like myself, you will definitely get fair games for the most part in terms of what's available in the rules to do. Changing the rules halfway through the tournament and, you know, squidging rolls and points and stuff is generally something I've not seen before. This is the first story of hundreds that I've read that have come from tournaments that has been like actual cheating or very, very iffy decisions towards the end of a tournament in somebody else's favour. So I really, really do feel sorry for you, man. I'm really sorry that happened to you. But at the same time, this is the first time I've done this, so I have to say, it's not something that happens a lot. If it happens at all, it's not something that happens a lot in tournaments. So I will give them a free pass on that one. This seems like a really shitty behaviour, though. And I don't blame you for not wanting to go back to the tournament, because if my first tournament was like this, I would quickly be like, okay, that sucks, I'm not doing that again. Our free time is precious, you know? And the minute it starts being wasted by things like this, that's when we start to pull back, you know? Especially if you're in a high-stress job and your free time is, like, very limited. As soon as shit like this kicks off, I walk away. I don't care if it's the first time and I should give it another chance. I don't care. You ruined some of my time off, go fuck yourself. I'm going. See you later. You know, that's kind of my attitude. So, I can understand why you didn't go back to tournaments. What I would do is give them another chance. I would definitely go and give tournaments another go. If a tournament is what you enjoy doing in a hobby, don't let them ruin it for you. Go and try and have another go. That's my advice. But yeah, but maybe stay away from that tournament organizer. Our next story is from somebody called Dave. He says, first of all, thanks for ruining my name. I joke, but seriously, not all Daves are perverts. Yeah, so I did a story on the channel a while ago called Dave, and it was about a perv. And since then, Daves have been the names that we give to people who are kind of pervy in the store, mainly to young people. So I'm very sorry to all the Davids out there that you've had your name besmirched by my hobby nightmares. But anyway, moving on. He says, anyway, I wanted to share a positive story that I think you will like about a Games Workshop manager here in the UK. So, the store I went to in the early 2000s was a bit of a stinker, if I'm honest. Most games were banned, music was very soft and corporate friendly, anyone not dressed like a fucking Mormon was asked not to be there because it would upset the parents. Yeah, one of those stores. Yeah. Essentially, man, what you're describing there is how you're trained to run a Games Workshop store. Anyway, I fled the place for a while. As a metalhead who likes to wear leather and chains, I was not into the ambience there at all, and decided to go my own way with my own hobby group. When the manager of the store left, however, his name was Mike, I made my way back to the store to check it out. The new manager was a lad called Gary, and this bloke was a total gent. He pulled us all together in a meeting at the store to discuss how he wanted to run it with our help too. This was great to hear, as we all needed somewhere to play with clubs closing down all over the place. The manager had struck a chord, and wouldn't you know it, the place was packed from then on, and normally on slow days. He allowed games, he allowed our own music, as long as it had no swearing in it, and cultivated the community in many unique ways, like group days to Warhammer World, tournaments, and even campaign days at his own place, as he had a huge basement with a lot of terrain. Cool. So this guy seems like the way I wanted to run a Games Workshop. When I first started at my store, one of the first things I did was I went to a local gaming groups and I said, look, have you been to the Games Workshop, you know, in this town before? Like, most of them were saying, yeah, we lapsed, we went away, we didn't really want to be around there, they didn't really allow us to play games or do this or do that. I took their concerns, and what I will give Games Workshop credit for, in my interview for that store, I took their concerns to my interview and said, look, I went to this town, I canvassed the local wargamers, like 30 to 50 of them. Most of them have played or bought things in the store and want to support the local Games Workshop. Right? That's all here. And I have their opinions here with me. And the actual business plan that I've made is to get these lapsed players and hobbyists back into my store. Right? That's how I built my business plan. But I also built it with a Games Workshop model in mind of, this is a business, we want more recruitment, we want more new players, things like that. I built it with that in mind too. And that impressed them, and that's how I got the job, right? Essentially. So, what this guy is doing, he has bypassed, he's already got the job, so he's bypassed the Games Workshop way of doing things. He's cut out all of the corporate speak and all the recruitment speak, and has gone, no, you know what? I'm just going to do it my own way. And he's gone and done it his own way, and wouldn't you know it, his store is packed most days. Let's carry on. Dave says, in the store campaign, he had 2 war zones. A massive world, about 15 times the size of Terra. Sorry, that's another email. About 15 times the size of Terra, and its moon. Each army had its own Grand Marshal, hive mind, you name it. A central leader leading their forces on the campaign map. This was a single person who led the war effort for that faction, and that this person would change every few weeks. It meant that those armies that normally saw little love in terms of being bought would actually have a good chance of having a Grand Marshal who would lead them for ages, increasing their appeal. It's a rather big draw to people like Tyranids and Necrons when you know you will be leading 4 to 5 hobbyists in a few massive battles at least once a month. That's a really cool way of getting armies that don't really sell very well to sell. Like say, hey, you know, the Space Marines have a different leader every week because there's so many of them. But Necrons, you can lead the Necrons for months on end because we only have 3 Necron players. That's really, really cool. I like that. The true genius of the campaign, though, was the Moon of the World. This is where beginners of all ages would play on a Sunday before eventually being called up to the main campaign on the planet below, normally after 3 full games on the Moon. Whenever they joined the main campaign, they would lead the first battle they are in, normally a big 3v3 battle, with lots of encouragement and help from the veteran guys and girls in their alliance. That's awesome. What a cool way of bringing new people into the hobby. It's almost like giving responsible hobbyists power in your hobby leads to good things. Who would have known? Hey, Games Workshop, who would have known? It was epic, says Dave, until we got a visit from HQ to check how things were going on a random Saturday. Both Gary's and the trainer's face were white. The trainer being the guy from Games Workshop HQ in Nottingham. Gary's face was white with being caught with his proverbial pants down running games in the store. And the trainer's was white at the clientele in the store being raucous and laughing, playing games that were meant to be banned. Wow, people are having fun in the store. Oh, the humanity. Oh, the horror. The trainer pulled Gary outside and was talking to him rather abruptly, finger-pointing the lot. In the end, the trainer stayed there the whole day and brought the campaign to a close after our latest game was done. He said that anybody not buying anything or who had not booked time at the painting table needed to head out as they needed the space. As one, we all went to the McDonald's opposite the Games Workshop and just made a point of standing there looking back at the store. They didn't need the space, and we wanted to make sure that he knew that we knew that. Instead, the trainer retrained, quote-unquote, Gary in how to run a successful Games Workshop store. The lads in the McDonald's held a meeting of the Slavering Demonettes, the stupid name for our group, and decided we were not going to take this lying down. When Gary was done and locked up and his trainer left, he looked absolutely defeated. As I walked home with him and then to the train we shared to our hometown, he said he was thinking of quitting. He was honestly kind of heartbroken. So I laid out what we had spoken about in McDonald's. All the players would come to the store to buy whatever they needed and take up the painting tables exclusively. Gary would extend the painting tables to get as many in as he could, and we would support the store financially. We realised this was helping Games Workshop and would make the bastard trainer look good, but fuck that guy, we weren't losing Gary because of this complete melt. I love that word. In terms of the campaign, it continued as we were, but never in the store. Instead, we had massive posters in the store about the campaign that were instantly reversible, so should any idiots from HQ make their way down to the store. We recruited people into the hobby that way and pushed the campaign to get bigger and better, until the Christmas game before university people went home for the holidays was a massive 10 versus 10 apocalypse game every year that we had to actually turn people away from because we only had space for 20 people. Gary stayed at Games Workshop for a long time and was still at the store when I moved away from town in 2017. Games Workshop under Kevin Roundtree relaxed the gaming rules in the stores, and the first night the campaign came back to the store, a Thursday night in 2015, it was billed as a massive store rebranding by Gary as it came on the store anniversary, and as far as I'm aware, it is still the record retail posting for any store in the UK. About £17,000 passed through the store till, and for a smaller store like ours to batter London's record was certainly something. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That is amazing. Like, so my store, the one that I ran, held the local record for a store anniversary, but this guy's store holds the record for overall takings, no matter what day it is. £17,000. That's bloody incredible. I almost want to call bullshit, because that is, like, your shelves are almost empty at that stage. That is incredible. Like, if he's done that's amazing. If I want pictures. If you've got pictures of his empty shelves, please show me, because I'm going to take it as read that you're telling the truth, because, you know, I have heard of similar numbers posted by London, like 14 to 15,000 pounds on an anniversary day. But if he got 17 grand, that is amazing. That is, well, put it this way, that's like 3 months of my store normally in one day. Yeah. Anyway, not all Daves are bad. Cheers for all you do and have a good weekend, Dave. That is an amazing story, dude. That is a group of hobbyists literally saving a Games Workshop from being complete and utter nonsense. And those are the hobbyists that are the lifeblood of the hobby. I've said it so many times. You guys are going to get sick of me saying it. But those guys are the lifeblood. These are the 95%ers. 95% of the people in the hobby are just like this. Normal blokes who will support the shit out of you if you give them something of value to go and get their money behind. I know from full experience, because it happened in my store, and it's even happening now on my Patreon, right? There are many people on there who give $1 here, $1 there, but that means the world to me, because it means that you're giving money to something that you think helps you through your day. And and hobbyists do that. They support people. They support the people who give them value for money. That's why no one is bothering with Warhammer Plus, for the same reason, right? This is amazing. I love this story, and it's good to end the week on a positive after a week of many negative stories. So thank you very much, Dave. Love you all long time. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a brilliant weekend. I am going to try and do some streaming either tonight or on Sunday. Anyway, I will love you and leave you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Chill out, have a beer. Even if you're working tomorrow, I don't care. It's Friday. Northern Exile's giving you permission. Go and have a beer. Go and chill out. Go and put your feet up. And I'll speak to you over the weekend. Have a good one.